Welcome back to the Fixer Upper Fan Club, a podcast where Jaydn and I talk about our favourite HGTV show starring Chip and Joanna Gaines. It's also sometimes where we talk about the development of our video game Butterfly Machine. This is a Soft Bones production that you are listening to.
That might be my favourite intro yet.
What did we get done in week 3, Jaydn?
I got a lovely little plan sorted for the website.
Yes.
All 4 pages, structured.
Delightful.
Ooh, drawn in a book.
Oh, nice.
With
I
a
don't
pen.
actually think I've seen that. Do you have that to hand?
Nope,
Well, never mind.
it's downstairs.
It's downstairs. Oh, well.
You'll see it when the website's done, which this podcast will be on.
Oh, exciting.
Unless you are listening to it on YouTube the few days before the website is up.
In which case, no.
No, actually.
No,
That's
actually.
not done.
Yeah. So you got the website plan done.
Got
you
the
start
website
up.
plan
You
done.
start up the shaders.
Had a little tinker with the shaders. I've already before practiced with the laptop stand off. I've already before practiced the canvas shaders, like the posterization,
Oh,
the in camera effects. But I looked into more of the material shaders, like the
quantization dithering.
no
The one that makes it look like it's jumping around.
yes. I can't think of the word for it off the top of my head. The one that makes the vertexes jitter whenever
Yeah.
the movement's happening.
You know the one. You've
Yeah.
played video games.
You've seen the PS1 thing. Also, like the UV tearing is another thing that's in the same thing I looked into. It did reverse all of the normals, so I've got to look into that again because
Yeah.
otherwise all models will be inside out.
That's not
But
good.
other than that, huge success.
Very nice.
I'll get back to that next week.
Yeah, and the last week, I did. I mean, we just talked about it at the end of the podcast that we definitely recorded last week.
Recorded last week.
Yep,
Yep,
and not in one double-barreled session because I got sick a week ago.
a little bit.
A little bit. I would
Playtest,
put people in front of the
change.
game. They would play the game, and then I would change stuff based on what they did and said. And something that I learned that is super helpful is having the icons on all the modules light up as you pass data through them to illustrate what's going on is super good because people like immediate feedback. People like immediately seeing what things do and having it visually represented, which is super helpful. And a few weeks ago, we went from having the game be just dreadful,
Just abysmal.
just awful.
Just the worst thing you've ever seen.
Where players would sit down and they would just fumble and then they'd start crying and it would be upsetting.
Parker.
To now, thank you, Parker. To instead now, people play. They sit down and they seem to have an idea of what's going on.
They say it's literally the best game they've ever played.
Well, I wouldn't say that much.
I said it,
You said it.
but I was the one playing it.
Yeah, you would. We're learning about games and game design, and it's a lovely time.
It's a fantastic time. I'm loving every minute of it, Jerry.
So, Jaydn, what did we get up to in week 4?
I also finally got around to learning After Effects.
How's that treating you?
Oh, it's setting my computer ablaze, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I finally mastered all Adobe products. And by all, I mean
It's
two.
it's the Infinity Stones, but they give you dreadful diseases.
And the one that's
And
supposed
they
to
cost
be
£80 a
a
month.
billion. They cost $9,000 a year. And the one that's supposed to be Illustrator is actually just a piece of sea glass in the shape of Inkscape. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got I managed to make a few little animated videos to go on the social medias. They're up on Instagram and on Blue Sky. And I used the Audacity skills that I learnt doing the podcast to have it some cool sound effects from freesounds.com or whatever
Thank you,
it's called.
freesound.org.
Yep. And I'm quite happy with them. We got a little some followers started posting around on the social medias. It's going well.
Yeah. I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah. and Jaydn, let me tell you what I got up to the first 2 days of last week. I gotta tell you, not much. I was ill. Well, I did manage to implement everything I wanted to do for the tutorial, and I did multiple passes of playtesting with that, and did some sketches for the area design for the first area. Worked out. Oh, I think I want it to be about the camera system.
Mm.
That would be the main topic of puzzles, and then I also did some essay stuff, did some job applications. I cleaned the bathroom.
Oh,
It was very nice.
lovely.
It was delightful.
Most of the tutorial areas now been reworked to be a lot longer,
Yeah.
introduce things slower.
Yes, because
Yeah.
before it would essentially just be we were throwing players into what we did not realize was just the deep end,
Yeah.
because and because we would throw like 4 different mechanics on top of them and say, you can figure this out, and then player said, no, I can't figure this out, and the only player who could figure it out was somebody who does programming already. And now it seems to be a whole bunch more reasonable.
Yeah. I think we thought it would be a bit slow and maybe boring going in each one at a time, but that's from the perspective of the people who have made the game.
So we can't be trusted at all.
Yeah, whereas it's just too much being like, even though for us it's like, that's a fun sandbox to figure out all the mechanics at once.
Yeah.
It's
For them, it's like, oh, now here's these 4 different things I need to
never
take
seen
care
in
of.
my life.
Yeah, that don't even react when I power them. And now they do react when you power them. And it turns out making little diagrams to represent what things do is really annoying. But it makes it a lot easier when you can actually see what it's doing.
Big yawn.
One of the big things we did last week was just re-engineering like most of the icons once or twice, to try and illustrate what they're doing with their little icon. But turns out just having them light up makes it 10 times easier.
Much easier.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
What am I up to this week? Well, Jaydn, I today I would like to brag. I got a scuffed version of our dynamic camera system working. We already had a quote unquote dynamic camera system where a camera, if you entered its collision area, then it would become the current camera. So it's basically just a basic version of getting fixed cameras working. But now the camera checking is managed by a specific node that you can have on your person or transfer to other things, and it will. How do I put this? There is a module that checks for cameras because it gives you an extra Area 3D collision box, and then if it gets a new camera, it will take a reference of the camera and give it to your eyes module, which sets the camera to on, because I can't exactly transfer like a feed of video. I mean, I probably could, but it would look dreadful and it's too complicated. So I have the same functionality with a relatively basic system. And if you don't have a camera being passed to you, then it switches to your emergency backup camera, which is attached to your person, which I think we'll be using for one of the puzzles, which I'm very excited about.
Woo!
Woo! And actually, while I was just talking and trying to explain that, I realized because I went to the effort of making the camera system actually based on you need to have this module on you to get a camera, then I think it would be cool to put that module on something else and then send it away. And so then it can get a different camera that's out of your reach, maybe.
That's fun.
Yeah, and that's just one of the many examples of the fun, weird, dynamic, 50% systemically driven, 50% I'm coding it by hand because doing it properly with a system would be too much work. Fun stuff you can do with game development.
And in the upcoming hit release,
Butterfly Machine. stop listening to the podcast. We're going to spoil all the puzzles.
Yeah.
Oh, and also this morning I figured out what we're going to put in the mysterious black void, which I actually think will look pretty cool. Because I was imagining all the save points would kind of look like lampposts with, like, a Sims plumb bob, like, thing at the top.
Okay.
And that's just what I imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your little icon would have a similar diamond on it for your, like, saving module.
Yes.
Yes.
This week I'm gonna start getting these podcasts uploaded. Today I made around a billion thumbnails for each of the podcast episodes, and I'm in the process of making just a simple looping GIF for YouTube, so I can get the podcast up, because the website is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, even though it's fully planned out now. I'm just waiting for access from Adam.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So...
Is that gonna clear? There we go.
So, coming up this week, I will be testing out the new camera system. I also have a new, I call it the subtitle system, but it's basically a way for modules to display error messages on screen if you pass them a data type that they don't know what to do with, which is, firstly, a good way to communicate to the player what's going on, and also a way for them to poke around and learn about the system, just by, like, connecting things together and seeing what happens, and then they can get a glimpse into the inner workings of the system by the error messages that say, you can't add these two together because of this, and they say, oh, that's how that works. And I made them look like Criterion Collection subtitles, because I thought it was funny.
Incredible. Fantastic news.
We'll be testing the camera system. I will also be doing some block out work for the tutorial area. Yep.
I'll be finishing off the shader for specifically the main camera shader.
Yes.
That'll be on the wall cameras.
Yeah.
That should be done. Hope you can't hear that pipe noise.
Wasn't that pipe noise?
If you can hear that pipe noise.
Oh,
Oops.
well. Whoops.
We're gonna have another meeting with the branding team this week.
We had another meeting with the branding team today, in fact, where we put together a big mirror board of all of the different things that we'd like to have. Aidan was a little bit annoyed that we ended up going back to just normal graphic design, but we've changed it a little bit instead of it being super weird.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I'm quite happy with.
I am quite happy with it. I just wanted it... I'm not against the style they had before. I just wanted to feel more personal, and I wanted them to stop putting stuff over the images.
I mean, it's the best kind of compromise, where everybody gets what they want, and nobody has to compromise.
But mostly I get what I want.
But mostly, I get what I want.
I am compromising, because if I got everything I want, it would actually be called Kaleidoscope, but it isn't.
But it's not.
No, it's not. So, and we've got an actual meeting in person with the team on Thursday, because last time it was over
Zoom.
Zoom. So we're coming back to them. We've also possibly got Caitlin on board.
Yep, for drawing little portraits for everybody, which I'm quite excited about.
Fantastic news. It's time for mail time.
Time for mail time.
Favourite time of the week.
Favourite time of the week. Jaydn, have a little look in the mailbag for me.
Okay, what's that?
That's not what a bag sounds like.
I don't know, we don't have any props. Oh, yeah, okay. Pass it over here. Oh, no,
It's full of garbage.
Oh, fine, it's literally, just do it. It'll be funny. I'll cut all this bit. Checking in the mailbag.
There's no mail.
There's no mail.
There's no mail.
Call me a woman.
Oh, +2.
Because there's no mail?
Took me a second.
It took you a second.
Give me back my garbage. I need to empty this.
A delicious bag of Nando's.
You can email us at contact@butterflymachine.online.
Say it again.
That's contact@butterflymachine.online. That's an email address.
Yep.
Yeah.
Send it.
Send it.